All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is February 24th, 2026. My name is Coach Kerrigan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. That is the day trading division of the Hit and Run Candlesticks family. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's take a look at the markets today, see how we did. First, we'll start off. We'll go over trades after. So I'm going to push this down. Push this out of the way. Take that off. All right. 10-minute chart. 10-minute bullish consolidation into the close. Okay, week 2 candle uptrend. 10-minute bullish. See how we move up? And then we hold the higher ground, especially over VWAP. All right? That's 10-minute bullish consolidation. So take the 2-hour chart and two-hour chart. You get the sticks and the 3 riding up on top of the 8. All right, over the 17. 2-hour uptrend into the close on the QQQ. All right, let's take a look at the daily. Daily candle looks like a higher low and a higher high. Closing over a bearish trap, but under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. In the middle of quadrant 4, it's bullish. No higher high made yet, so we're still in a downtrend. Okay, but we're not moving down. Okay, so middle of quadrant 4, that's bullish. Again, we're in a downtrend, but not moving down. Excuse me. Look at the last 6 candles. Almost all of them are green, moving up and bouncing into that 17 EMA. So there's the QQQ. Weekly chart. Still, see all the green dots? Still bullish and in an uptrend. We have not made any lower lows. Okay, it's QQQ. Monthly chart. See all the green dots? Okay, there's the origin of the move, April. Again, bullish. Still in an uptrend on QQQ. Let's take a look at SPY. Start with the 10-minute. Let's pick up a cleaner chart. And let's come back over here. All right, 10-minute. Got bullish consolidation, same as QQQ. Price moves up and over to the right. You can see you got a week, 2 candle uptrend. I'm going to call it more bullish consolidation into the close. There's SPY on the 10-minute chart. Okay, bullish consolidation. 2-hour chart. Okay, you got the sticks and the 3 riding on top of the 8. Got the mouth of the 3 and the 8 open. There we go. We got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily candle. Daily candle is a lower high and a lower low, a little bit different from QQQ, but closing over a bearish trap and closing on top of the 17 EMA. Weekly candle. Back here. See all the green dots? Still bullish. Still in an uptrend. We have not broken any lows. Monthly candle. You can see here's the origin of the move. That would be April. See all the green dots? Still bullish. Top of quadrant 4. And in an uptrend on SPY on the monthly chart. Let's take a look at Stinker. All right, Stinker on the daily candle. Lower high, lower low. No help from Stinker today. Lower high, lower low, closing under, not even inside, a bearish trap, under the falling 17. I'm going to zoom out. This is the all-time low. This is the all-time high. Okay, so you can see here, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the all-time low anchored VWAP, under the midpoint right here almost in the lower third if they'd have closed the candle down there. So they're still neutral, but in a downtrend on Stinker, aka FNGU. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM is an inside day. Okay, so it's a lower high and a higher low. We're closing, looks like over a bearish trap, over the 17, possibly over the all-time high anchored VWAP. It's getting close. Up in the middle of quadrant 4, they have not made any lower lows. Well, wait. Take that back. Low here, 58.10. Low here, 58.51. So they're in a downtrend. Not a very convincing downtrend, but they're in a downtrend, but they're not moving down. All right. And they're only in a downtrend technically because this low was lower than this low, and we made a high up over the 17. So now we have a lower low because this is under the 17. So you can see right here, IWM, daily candle. It's in a daily downtrend, but not moving down. It's more moving to the right. And if you back out, you can see price moves up and over to the right. So that's a bull flag. So we're in the middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish, but in a very weak daily downtrend. Okay, if you want to call it that, just technically only because they made a lower low down here on IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Okay, so Diamond Dow, they got a low here, and then they made a high up over the 17, and then they made a low. So they're in a downtrend. Okay, but if you back out, okay, just like IWM, price moves up and over to the right. So it's a bull flag. All right, so it's another one here that's in a daily downtrend. Today's candle was, let's take a look. Low is 87.15. Low here is 87.45. Okay, so it's an inside day. That's a lower high and a higher low. We closed inside a bearish trap under the flat 17, under the pink line, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. In the middle of quadrant 4, we're bullish in a very non-convincing downtrend on the daily chart on Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at silver. Silver is, I'm going to blow this up just a little bit. It's a lower high and a lower low, and we closed over a bullish trap. We closed over a falling 17. We closed, I'm just going to pick up a cleaner one. Closed over a falling 17 right here. If we put the quad lines on here, you can see back here, we're closing inside the upper third, so that's bullish. Right now, bullish, still under the downtrend line though. See this downtrend line right here. Still under the downtrend line, bullish, but has not made a higher high yet. Okay, so the high they got to beat is 82.80, and I'm not sure if that even gets over the 17. They got to make a higher high that comes up over the 17, so not quite there. Might even have to go up here and make a new all-time high. All right, so there's silver, still in a downtrend. All right, technically, but nice in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Not moving down, kind of more moving up on silver. All right, and bullish, and currently in a downtrend that's non-functional. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap, okay, because the 3 and the sticks are on top of the 8, over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the pink line, that's the all-time high anchored VWAP, up here in the middle of quadrant 4, so that's bullish. They have not made lower lows, so they're still in an uptrend. All right, so they are bullish and in an uptrend. Here's the origin. Okay, you can see them up in quadrant 4. And here's the origin back here in 2022. Okay, so that's gold, still bullish and in an uptrend on gold. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, UNG, lower high, lower low. It's continuing to suck. All right, closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under this 12-month high anchored VWAP. All right, you can see here's the origin. That is the all-time low right at the end of my cursor right there. You can see price is in quadrant 1. Well, that is definitely not bullish. So it's in the lower third, so it's bearish. And you can see price making a low, then a high, and then a lower low. So they're in a downtrend and bearish on UNG. Let's take a look at USO. Come on, baby. Oh. We'll come back to USO. Let's go check out the US dollar index. Nothing's working. Wonderful. Let me reboot it, see if that works. Reboot it. Reboot. You can see the hourglass. Internet's been slow here in Cape Coral today. Everything's kind of dragging. I had to restart several times. I got flipped off in the room a couple times. Not even knowing I was flipped off in the room. All right, can you guys still see my screen? You got it? Okay. Back to USO. Lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap. See the dots? Rising 17. Up here over this. This is a 4-year high anchored VWAP. And that goes back to the post-COVID rally right there. Okay, we're over that anchored VWAP there. You can see where I back way out. You can see how we're up in quadrant 4. Okay, so we're bullish. And a really nice thing that I see so far in energy, they're holding the higher ground right now. Well, for a much longer period than they've ever done it before. See how they go up and give it up? They go up and give it up. And they go up and give it up. Okay, this is about the longest I've seen them hold it in a year or more, okay, is up here. So we could have something going on. I said spring. It looks like it's going to be late winter. This is looking good so far. So anyways, we're up in quadrant 4 because I'm going to back out one more time so you can see. Okay, so this is the quad lines. All right, you can see this is quadrant 1 down here. This is our low. That's our high up there. We're up in quadrant 4, okay, in the middle of quadrant 4, so that's bullish, okay, and then we look over here, we've got a low, make a higher low, we got a high right there, and we've made a higher high, so we're clearly in an uptrend and bullish on USO on the daily chart. Okay, so I did UNG, I did silver and gold. Let's check out the technicals. T2101. All right, so market went up today, and of course, participation, or AKA absolute market breadth, really didn't move. All right, just kind of lingering in the same location all day on the 15-minute chart. So nothing really good to report. I'd like to see more participation. Means maybe our rally might be over. Who knows? All right, we're getting short little rallies, short little dips, and short little rallies. So here it's T2101. Again, not much participate, not any more than what we had yesterday. Okay, so, and not any more than what we had the day before. So let's take a look at T2122. Over here, I had hopes and dreams of being in the buy zone, maybe even visit the overbought zone. That didn't happen. You can see clearly yesterday. We came down here. We went airborne, all right, right over the buyer's chop zone, right over the seller's chop zone, only to camp out inside the sell zone, touchdown in the sell zone, and we stayed there all day. So we went up here. We crossed the 50-yard line. That was nice, all right? And we ended the day in the buyer's chop zone, but we did not make a higher high, so that's concerning because now we're starting to build a trend right across the top of those highs right there. All right, would have liked to see a little bit more. Clearly, the end of day thriller rally just didn't get us far enough. All right, so I guess there's people are waiting on something. Who knows what they're waiting on, and it could very well be Nvidia earnings. So here's T2122. Nice job on the bulls to bring the line back up here into the buyer's chop zone. So nice work for the bulls today. And of course, if you wanted to pat the bears on the back, they did an awesome job yesterday. Okay, so both just constantly up and back, up and back. So there we are with T2122. That's bullish. So I like it because I'm mainly bullish. T2123. That's our all-time high right there. Not a new all-time high, but that is our all-time high. That was made on Thursday. So this was Friday's price. No, that was made on Friday. This was Monday's price action right here on the 23rd. Okay, and this was today's price action. Okay, so we got a low here. We made lower low. So we're in a downtrend when we left off on Monday. Today's Tuesday. And we've got a high right here. All right. It's a lower high. All right. But we managed to ink out, you can see right there, I put the crosshairs on it, a higher high. So that we leave today in the 15-minute chart with a 15-minute uptrend. Okay. Because we got a higher high coming into the close. Okay. Not a new all-time high, but a higher high on the 15 minutes. So we leave today in an uptrend over the 17. We're up over this rising 200 SMA. That's wonderful right there. That's bullish. Anytime you're on the north side of the 200, that's a bullish sign. So take a look at the 3-bar chart. This is the origin of our rally, okay, right here in April. Right here, so we run up and we make an all-time high. A new all-time high right there, because this right here, this was the all-time high, the all-time high prior to this one. We have a pullback to the neckline, excuse me, and then we bounce and we climb on top of the 200, consolidate, and then we inked out. Guess what? Yep, another new all-time high up there. So you can see price action up at the top of quadrant 4. Remember I showed you this is our April low. Okay, that's the origin of our whole rally. Okay, so we're up here top of quadrant 4, so that's clearly bullish. All right, and they have not made any lower lows. Okay, the first low to take out would be, see that red dot right there? That's the first one. Okay, so if they take that out, they'll have a downtrend, but I don't see that happening At least not today or tomorrow, or well, tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. That could happen after NVIDIA earnings. I don't know. All right, so there's T2123. So we're clearly bullish and in an uptrend. You can see us up over the rising 200 SMA right there. Okay, we take a look at Stinker on the 15, and piss poor performance from Stinker. Okay, we're back under the 200, the falling 200. We're on the north side of this head and shoulders neckline, but the head and shoulders was busted up in that we decapitated the head right here today by making a lower low. See the low? We made a lower low, so this head and shoulders is now irrelevant because we decapitated the head. The bears did. So, and you can see price action comes down, makes a lower low. Did they make a higher high? There's a high. They made a higher high here. So there's, but they didn't make a lower low. So let's see what we got here. We've got here's the first low under the 17. That high's not higher, so that's still in a downtrend. So on the 15, as much wishy-washy back and forth over the 17, still in a downtrend because they just haven't made a higher high yet. So, but they're working on making that higher high. So there's 15-minute for FNGU in a downtrend, okay, under the falling 200 SMA, under the falling all-time high anchored VWAP, just clearly having a tough time getting anything done. So that's FNGU. On the dollar index for today, we're still in an uptrend. You can see there's a high there. We made a little higher high right here, all right, but we're not moving up. All right, we're in an uptrend, but we're not moving up. Today's candle looks like a little doji right there. All right, so price action closing right around 97.89 right there. You can still see we're in an uptrend, but not moving up. You can still see we're still in this bear flag. You can see the move down. Okay, that would be the shaft of the hockey stick, the handle. And then here's the blade of the hockey stick for all you that like to watch the hockey games, okay? So you can see there's no bounce back up here. So we're still in a bear flag, and all of this would be major support. So this line right here, we're underneath it, so we're under major support. So now that becomes resistance because we're now underneath it. So we're in a downtrend. We're in an uptrend on the daily candle, just barely, but we're not moving up. And we're under the 200 SMA right there, this 200. But we're on the wrong side of the channel. To be bullish, you probably want to be up here. Maybe they meander their way up there or melt up here. We'll find out. They're on the bottom side, so this very well could manifest into an M pattern and roll over and make a lower low. We'll see what happens, okay? But still in this big bear flag right there. So that's it for me for today. I will review a few trades that I made. And we'll start off with, get a clean chart. Let's go over to QQQ. QQQ was the flavor of the day today. QQQ. Now, QQQ was consolidating over post-market consolidation from yesterday. I think I even have I got a little post-it of that up in here. Okay, so I'll come up here. I'll grab that for you. All right, so here's QQQ. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so you can see this was right here. This is the post-market from Monday. Okay, right up till where it says 24, right there. And you can see we consolidate on top of the post market from Monday. And we spend a lot of time over VWAP. So for me, this looked a much stronger than the other one, which was SPY. And we'll go look at that real quick. But you can see this is the instructions that I shared with the traders in the BYOB Trading Room was over 604.50, I'm a bull. All right, right there. 604.50, I'm a bull. All right. And then on top of that, you can see right here, I'm buying and bidding for 609 0 DTE calls right here at 952. All right. I'm buying and bidding right here in the alerts as well, 952. Okay. So, I practice what I preach. So anyways, let's go back up here. And this is where I look at the Q, at the SPY. And you see how SPY crosses down through this consolidation. So the Qs looked much stronger than SPY, and SPY putting in, see this kind of like a lower low right here. All right, so could not quite hold the higher ground. So I chose QQQ as the flavor of the day today, and we traded that. So you can see, but SPY I said is a buy. All right, I'd be a bull over 684.20 right there. Okay, I'm a bull. You can see where price. We'll go look at price for QQQ, and we'll look at price for SPY. But here's the QQQ. I think we got that already up. So 604.50. So let's go find 604.50 on my chart, and we can take a peek at what happened there. So here is 604.50 rate. It's going to be right here, 604.49, 604.50 right here. So price went down right here at the gate. Okay. And I said as soon as price crosses up there, so we had the cross, so immediately, boom, right like that. I mean, this makes this a huge, big tail candle. All right, so that's a bullish candle, big time. And so I bought 609 calls right here. You can see this would be 9. This would be 9:30. So you can see right here, if I put the crosshairs, okay, that would be 10 o'clock. Well, this would be the 952 candle right here. See that? I said 952, buying the 609 calls right there. So on those 609 calls, which are these right here, all right, and I'll show the trading here. Okay, so you can see 609 calls. Now, if it's a blue dot, all right, it's a buy. If it's a red dot, it's a sell. So you can see I buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Now I'm reloading. Reload, sell, sell, into strength. Reload, sell again into strength. See the size of that candle? Selling all the way into that. Then start to reload again. Unload, reload, unload, unload, reload, unload, constantly all day. And then we had the thriller trade into the close. Let's look at that. Okay, so now if you were in the room, all right, I shared it with you. I said right here, possible SPY QQQ thriller trade near end of day. We'll see. All right, so prepped you for that as well. You can see I gave you that information at 2:30. And you can see here it is 3 o'clock. And I see something suspicious. So I begin buying the 609 calls again for price to return back up there. All right. And you can see we got this monster candle up there. And we sold into strength on this candle here. So this was nice because you could easily pick these up for 1 cent and 2 cents. You could have picked something bigger, but 1 cent and 2 cent, and you're selling them for 5 cents, 6 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents. Okay, so you're getting like 100% on these trades. If you're buying them for 2 cents and you're selling them for 4 cents, you're making 100%. Okay, if you're buying them for 2 cents and selling them for 4 cents and 5 cents, you're making 100%. So those were nice little trades as the thriller trade ramped up. Let me show you that thriller trade on the 2 minute so you can see it as we watched it manifest. Okay, so we had, remember, I posted that at 2:30. So that was right here. And then we had this, and then I kind of thought we might not get a thriller trade. But I was still thinking we still might get one because we did not make any lower lows yet. So here one manifested right through here. And you can see here's that rally. So we rallied from 607.22 clear up to 608.80 all the way up there. Okay, so over $1.50 inside of 15 minutes right there. $1.50 on a 15-minute candle right there. So, but we were trading the 3 and the 2 minute candles for that to manifest all the way back up there. So that's what we trade, the thriller trade right there. So I made some good money on that. When you're making 100%, it's easy to make the big money on that. 705. This was this was just something I had long shots for going into the end of the week. We looked really bullish coming into Friday, so I bought a lot of stuff that was good for 7 days. So this was left over. I picked this up for a penny. I think I probably sold it for 3 cents. So nothing there. This was underwater, so I have to constantly buy low. So I'm buying at 11 cents here. See how I'm buying at 11? All right, and I'm selling at 13. Now for me, all right, I know that this is going to come in as a loss based on my cost basis, because my cost basis was, I think, 22 or 15. Okay, so you can see I'm selling it for less than what I paid for it. But in my heart, I already know that I only paid 11 cents for these contracts. Okay, so dumping them for 13, that pays for my commission and then a little something something on the side. Okay, so you can see for me that's a win. Now it comes in as a loss, but I don't let head games bother me. All right, so I know in my head that's a win. Whenever you buy low and sell high, you're always winning. All right, as long as the commission doesn't cancel you out. But you can see right there, you know, I'm winning because I sold it for more than what the commission was for. So for me, I don't let this bother me, even though it's a negative, and it may show up as a negative here. But when it comes down to the account value, all it's going to do is make the account value grow, because in addition to that, it drags the cost basis from 22 down to 15. So that's how I trade. All right, I trade a little bit different than everybody else you see trade, okay? I'm much different. I trade more like a market maker than I do a retail trader, okay? But it's just the way that I taught myself. That's it. Okay, so there it is, SPY bull flagging into the end of the close. Okay, so that's it for me for today. All right, I will see you guys all tomorrow. I see a lot of people made some goals. I see some people made some profits. I'm happy for you. Congrats. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We'll do it again. All right? Let's do it again. Thank you, everybody.